Hello, this is 3D Mike here at Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Brief information on the town. It was settled in 1733 by Peter Stevens, a squatter who had settled on the land near the point here at the river and put a ferry up. And then Robert Harper had shown up a year later, an industrialist, and set up camp, hence Harpers Ferry. We are here to scan the Byron Bridge, which is the bridge on the lower side, and the CSX bridge on the northerly side. And that the CSX bridge has CSX and Amtrak, and there's a single train track on the Byron Bridge and a pedestrian path that serves as a crossing for the Appalachian Trail here. We're doing a flood study. As you can see here, the town suffers from floods as the Chesapeake Bay drains through here as a watershed. We got these images from Dave Gilbert at dgilbert53.net. Appreciate that. And here's a image of some of the flood heights going through town with year markers. It's 3D Mike, right here scanning at the Harper Ferry site in West Virginia, out where the Potomac meets the Shenandoah. And we're scanning Byron Bridge. Scan is over here, knocking some numbers down on this bridge. A little bit of data coming in there. Gotta get to work. Day 2 of the Harper Ferry scan. Right now we have the scan running, doing some long range work. They said it was about 800 feet across, so we're trying to capture data from both sides. Yesterday we were across the river over there by the mountainside, and today we're set up on the other side of the river. VHB had used GPS to set 5 to 6 control points at each bridge location on each side of the river. We used these to resect positions for the scanner, allowing us to kind of pick and choose where the best scanner location was and target specific elements of the bridge. This little walkthrough here that I'm going to do kind of shows the targeting network we had set up. We had set up orbs on one side of the bridge to kind of do targeting network across the bridges, and then on the pedestrian path there you can see smaller targets that were GPSed in also. Those were used as kind of confirmation checks that the registration process was working correctly. Here we're looking at the registered point cloud data. This represents about 42 scan positions, half of them from the shoreline side, bank side, and then the other half occupying the Byron Bridge here as we see it. That helped us get us data on the piers and the bridge to the left. Again, this was for a flood study, and the rest of this is more kind of what the town was like, and some images, a little bit of video. This here is Jefferson's Rock. Thomas Jefferson visited in 1787. As you can see, this is a floating rock. It's got 2 contact points that were holding it up. Pillars were installed somewhere between 1855 and 1860. To preserve the floating rock and some of the buildings in the community below. It's a short vertical hike from Lower Town, and there's an old cemetery nearby. I think it's worth a trip to go see. It's very interesting. This image here was at a seawall at one of the scan locations I used to look at and capture data on the CSX bridge. It's a location where about 1,600 Union cavalry eluded capture under the cover of night, getting away from the Confederacy army who had laid siege on the town the next morning. They had crossed a 800-foot pontoon, like an oak plank pontoon bridge, single file without detection. Now, that's 1,600 cavalry, which really is a miracle. Although there are a lot of versions of the stories that exist, so the truth is really fuzzy, but you can really feel the history sitting at this. This portrait of John Brown, who led the Harpers Ferry raid, along with his band of 21, took control of the federal arsenal and armory and rifle factory as an act to disrupt the slave trade. He lost most of his men and was caught in this fire station. A monument stands where he was hung a few days later for insurrection, treason, and murder. There are a lot of interesting features as you go around the town, like this old root cellar, old historic churches, and even older churches. This is ruins of an old church. We also see a lot of old architecture merging with the new in some subtle and not so subtle ways. With quaint streetscapes and small shops everywhere, historic restorations, small museums, it's cool here.